Good day, everyone who is tuning in. My name is Cate Wolff. I teach at Berkshire Yoga Dance and Fitness in Pittsfield, 55 North Street. I teach an Easy Does It yoga class and trauma-sensitive yoga as well. Today is a recording of some of the work, some of the practices that we do in Easy Does It yoga. And you can follow along as best you can and definitely make accommodations for yourself should you need some more support, like a chair, or if you have blocks. I don't have any blocks at my home, so I won't be using them, but you're welcome to. So let's just take one moment to just fully arrive here. So you can let your eyes close if that's comfortable for you. And if not, you can look down at your hands or the floor and come in contact with the natural rhythm of your breath. Just feeling it as it comes in through the nose and down into the belly. And this is a great way, not just in a yoga class, but in any place that you might be driving in your car, definitely with your eyes open. In your car, waiting online, when you're walking, when you're about to go to sleep, to just come into the present moment and fully inhabit this moment with whatever is happening in your body, your mind, your heart, to just open to being there for it. And so maybe softening your belly a little bit to receive an inhalation and following it, the breath out as it leaves your body through the nose or the mouth. And if you're particularly stressed, I just want to mention that if you lengthen your exhale, it kicks the parasympathetic nervous system into gear more fully and allows you to relax all the stress that you're feeling in your body. So you might want to exhale your breath nice and slowly. And inhaling again and then exhaling nice and slow. So once you have fully arrived here and you've let go of what's already happened this morning or what's on your agenda for this afternoon, when you're ready, if you'd like to join me, I invite you to come down onto your floor, onto your mat if you have one. And then if you'd like, bring the knees up and maybe just rocking a little bit from side to side over the spine. Rocking one way and then the other. And placing your hands on your knees and maybe rolling the knees in a circle. So this is a great way to warm up the spine. So circling the knees, and you can drop the knees really nice and far away. You can even let go of the knees and let them circle independently, and then you can drop them much farther away from your front. And then changing direction. And making sure that you're breathing, feeling all the sensations as the low back gets massaged into the surface below. And then when you're ready, coming back to stillness, interlacing the hands and extending the left leg and keeping the right leg in, and maybe just taking a moment to circle your ankle in one direction. You might hear some crispy crunchies in there, and that's totally fine. It's just air popping through the joint. circling in the other way, just taking a moment. And then flexing the foot and rolling the knee in a circle. So we're warming up the hip joints. We'll be doing more of this on the bar or my kitchen counter, your kitchen counter. We're taking a minute to just circle and then changing direction. And you can do this as slowly or as quickly as you'd like. You can choose how you want to engage in this movement. And then when you feel complete, bringing the leg back to center, letting go with the left hand and guiding the knee out to the right. Now I'm going to place my right elbow on the floor and just guiding the leg out to the side, opening the inner thigh. And again, making sure that you're breathing. And then bringing that leg through center, taking hold of it with the left hand. Now the right arm can come out on the floor and crossing the knee over. Just a nice twist. First twist of the morning maybe for you. And then when you feel complete, coming back to center, and I invite you to extend the leg and take hold of it at the back of the thigh, the knee or the calf. And just, we're gonna stretch out this part of the body more as we come to standing, but just taking a moment to draw the leg towards you, and taking a few mindful breaths, and drawing the belly down towards the spine. And as you do that, consider lifting the head towards the knee. Taking a moment here, holding and breathing, releasing back down to the floor. And then one more time, we're going to go with the left hand and guide the right leg out. And again, the elbow can come to the floor and press your heel away. Draw the toes towards you. Breathing, feeling the stretch in the inner thigh. Bringing the leg back to center, taking hold of it with the left arm. Right arm comes out to shoulder height, and with a straight leg, we're crossing the leg. And we're crossing the leg over to the left. And the leg does not have to be perfectly straight, but notice what happens if you press your heel away. Get a nice big stretch in there. Making sure you're breathing, and then coming back to center and lowering that leg down next to the left one, and just pausing for a moment and noticing the difference in the way your legs feel. And then when you're ready, you can draw the left knee up and circling the knee. Breathing. You can maybe feel this way into the left hip joint. And another few circles, changing direction. Pulling it in every time it comes around. And then bringing the knee in towards you, letting go with the left arm. Letting go with the right arm. The left elbow comes to the floor, and you're just holding the leg in the bent leg position. Feeling the opening in the inner thigh. And then bringing that leg through center, taking hold of it with the right hand and letting the left arm come out at shoulder height and just providing a little twist to the body. And that exhale is an opportunity to continue to let go and soften into all of these stretches. Coming back to center, taking hold of the leg as you extend it up at the back of the thigh, the knee, or the calf, and pointing the toes down towards you, drawing the leg in towards you. And then letting go with the right arm. Left arm extends the leg out. Got an elbow on the floor that's holding the leg. And just pressing out with the heel if that feels okay to you. And then coming through center and crossing the leg over the body. Right hand takes hold of the leg. Left arm comes out at shoulder level. And just feeling the twist here again. And then coming back to center, taking hold of the leg with both hands, drawing the toes down towards you, drawing the belly in towards the spine, and then lifting the head towards the knee. Taking another moment, and then releasing down and letting that left leg come next to the right leg. And just pausing for a moment. Maybe taking a big stretch through the center of the body. The arms come overhead. I had a little cramp there. And then bringing the legs in once again when you're ready and rolling onto one side and coming up to a seated position. Pausing here for a moment. And then from here, coming up onto the palms of the hands and up onto the feet. So when you do a squat, you can have your heels lifted if that works for you, or you may want to drop. Some people, flexibility-wise, can't drop the heels, but if you can, by all means do so. If not, come right up onto the ball of the foot. It's a little bit more of a balancing pose for those of you who are on your heels. And then you can bring the elbows to the legs, or you can have the legs independent and pausing here for a moment. Bringing the hands to the floor, fingertips tent the hands here. And then from here, dropping the heels and lifting the hips. So pausing here for a moment and then bending down once again. And we're just warming up a little bit more. And as you lift the hips and drop the heels, tuck the chin in. Breathing, bending down into the knees one more time. And once more, lifting and tucking the chin. And pausing for a moment. And then from here, we're going to roll all the way up to standing. And I am going to take a moment to just wrap the arms around the body as we twist a little bit from side to side. You can lift one heel and then the other. And if it's available to you, you could turn your head to look back behind you, at the wall behind you. And just letting those arms be loose and floppy. And then gradually bringing yourself back to a standing position. And we're going to transition now to my kitchen, where we will do our barre work. And hopefully you have found a place that works well for you to practice. I have changed positions so that you can see for those of you who aren't familiar with the work we do, you can see my legs and feet. So I've still got that glaring light, even though it's cloudy, I've still got glare here. And I hope that that isn't too distracting. I'm not playing music because when I listened to my last video, the music was not the sound was poor. So I'm going to leave off with the music. And You can use your kitchen counter, your sink area, if that works for you. Separating the feet about hip width apart, and then turning the toes out, and then beginning to circle your hips. And you can pull away from the surface that you're using. Really lean back into the hips. We've already warmed them up quite well, but we're going to continue to do our practice the way we do. So circling and then changing direction. Few more circles. Good. And then come back to stillness, walking the feet back and flattening out the back. So if you have a kitchen like mine where I'm almost touching my other counter, you may want to turn sideways, but I wanted to just demonstrate a flat back position. So the knees are soft and the back is parallel, the upper body is parallel to the floor. I'm going to do it here. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to join me, lifting the right leg and pointing the toes back behind you, reaching the crown of the head out. And breathing. And then from here, we're going to bend that extended leg and bring it onto the floor in front so that the ankle and knee are in line with one another. And then here, I look dark, I hope you can see me. So here, the back leg is extended back, the front knee is bent, and you can hold on to your surface, or you can bring the arms up overhead. So your choice to hold on or not. If the arms, no matter what, whether the arms are up or you're holding on, you can experiment with sinking into the hips, lifting the heart, and lifting the head slightly. And then the hands come back down and pushing off with the front foot, bringing it in underneath, flattening the back once again. Lifting the left foot, bringing it back behind you. The crown of the head is reaching one way. The head is reaching the other. And then bringing the left foot in. So you want to make sure that the left foot isn't right in front of the back foot. So you have a nice solid stance. That's important. Bending into the front knee, but not so it goes over the toes, just so the knee is right in line with the rest of the leg. And then if you have the ability, you can bring your arms overhead. You can always hold on with one arm. And sinking into the hips here, lifting through the heart, and breathing. Taking another moment or two, and then pressing, bringing the hands back down, pressing back to a flat back position. And I'm going to turn sideways again here, because from here, we're going to lift the upper body and drop the hips forward and come into a nice arch. Arms are straight, head and heart are lifted, and arching back. Taking another moment here. And then when you feel ready to, just stepping in and taking a pause. When you're ready, you can bring your right hand to your surface. How close you stand to it is how much arch you're going to have. We're going to do a side arch or half moon, supported half moon. And then you can just hinge out. The left hip is pressing out. Right arm comes up overhead if that works for you. If you have shoulder injuries, just by all means, keep the hand down or place it on your low back. Or you can bring it overhead into an arch. And breathing. and then pulling in and releasing the arm down. I'm going to turn my back to you. So again, you get to decide how much of an arch you want. The outside arm lifts, if that works, and arching to the side. And breathing. Taking another moment here. And then when you feel ready, lifting back to center and turning for a moment to face your bar. Noticing how you're feeling. Okay. So when you're ready, if you'd like, you can step away from the bar. For those of you who have difficulty with balance, you may want to have a chair to your side that you can hold on to. And also, some people can't bring their foot all the way up, so feel free to put it on a chair in front of you. But if you can balance on one foot, balancing on the left leg, reaching the right knee up so it is parallel with your surface, and then as you feel ready, drawing the belly in and then bringing it to your sink or whatever you're using and bending into the front knee. If you have a banister that's around your second floor, that's a really nice place to practice too. I have one story here, so I don't have a banister. Breathing and then pressing back through the hips, dropping the head and chest. And you don't want to force the knee straight, but just breathing here, letting the upper body be heavy. And you can experiment with extending the crown of the head out if you want more of a stretch. So when you're ready, drawing the belly in, both hands lift, and we bring the body all the way up. Again, you can use a chair as support if you'd like, bringing the arms up, drawing the belly in, and then lowering back down. One more time. We're got that right leg is extended to where it feels right to you. The crown of your head and upper body are reaching. Taking another moment. Draw the belly in here again as you lift the upper body up overhead. The hands can come to your chair or down to your sides. Bend the front knee a little bit. Draw the belly in and bring the foot away from your surface. And relaxing it back to the floor and just shaking out your legs for a moment. Taking a second to reorient. And then when you feel ready, join me in bringing your weight onto your right leg. Again, use a support as you need, either a chair to support you. You can reach back behind you for a counter or a chair in front. Draw the left knee up. And then drawing the belly in, we're extending the leg. And bending into the knee to a nice deep knee bend, feeling the stretch up. The supported leg is getting a real stretch through the front of the thigh, and then the left leg through the inner thigh and back of the thigh. And now extending the hips back, dropping the head and chest. When you feel the sensation in the body, that's a good reminder to breathe deeply, exhaling through the nose or the mouth. From here, reaching the fingertips out, balancing and lifting all the way up, drawing the belly in, and then one more time. Hinging forward, dropping the head and chest. Taking another moment. Reaching through the crown of the head if that feels like a good stretch for you. And then drawing the belly in, lifting the arms all the way up. And then letting them come down to the floor, drawing the belly in as you slowly and mindfully bring that leg back to the floor. And shaking out the legs. And taking a pause, if you'd like, a glass of water or whatever you might like. All right, so when you're ready, we're going to do some leg strengthening work. So turning the feet out so that they are a hip width apart, toes are turned out, and then coming up onto the ball of the foot. The heels are lifted. Bending into both knees. Nice. You get to decide. I mean, some of you might want to come all the way down. I just come a little of the way down, because that's what feels best to my knees. And then pressing all the way into the feet and releasing the heels. And then pressing up again, bending into the knees. Holding, dropping the heels, pressing up. Bending into the knees, lifting the heels. This is the hard one. Inhaling up. Keep the heels lifted as you bend into the knees. Release the heels and press up. Coming all the way up onto the ball of the foot, bending the knee. Coming all the way up, bending down again. Release the heels and press to standing. And then when you're ready, bend into the knees, lift the heels. Pause here for a moment, inhaling yourself up, bending into the knees. Release the heels and press to standing. Bend into the knees, lift the heels. Breathe, coming all the way up. Stay up on the ball of the foot, bend into the knees. Holding, dropping the heels and pressing up. And bending into the knees. Lift the heels. Breathing here and then pressing all the way up. Bending into the knees. Breathe, release the heels and come to standing. And shaking the legs out for a moment. And then when you feel ready, you can draw the feet together, the thighs pull in toward, and knees pull into one another as we come up onto the ball of the foot. And then bending into the knees, nice straight back, all the way up, bending into the knees, releasing the heels and pressing up. Bending into the knees, lift the heels, coming all the way up. Holding, bending into the knees, drawing those knees together. Drop the heels and come to standing. Bending into the knees, lift the heels, breathe here. Pressing all the way up, keep the heels lifted. Bend into the knees. Release the heels and press to standing. Bend into the knees, nice deep knee bend. And inhaling all the way up, holding the heels up, keeping the knees together, bending into the knees, drop the heels and come to standing. And one more time, we're going to bend into the knees and lift the heels. And inhaling up, and all the way up, bending into the knees, release the heels, and come to standing. Ooh, and shaking the legs out. And then when you're ready, taking the left foot into hand, So you can hop yourself back a little bit so that you can hinge forward, drawing the heel towards the buttocks and lifting the knee. Breathing here. And then when you feel ready, coming to standing, turning the left ankle to the right knee, and then dropping into your hips. And you may be feeling this mostly in your left hip, so as far as you go down may regulate how much sensation you have. Breathing here, taking another moment. And then when you're ready, coming to standing. Okay. And then taking the right foot, drawing it in towards your buttocks, and then lifting and lowering the upper body down towards the surface that's supporting you, and lifting the right knee. The heel is drawn towards your buttocks, feeling the opening in the front of the thigh. We're lengthening out all of that building up of muscle we just did. And then turning the ankle over the knee, and then dropping into the hips. And you might notice there's a difference in your two hips. So one may feel it more than the other. That's usually the case with most of us. We have a tighter side and a looser side. So breathing here, taking another moment. Beautiful. And coming to standing and shaking your legs out and taking a pause. So when you're ready, we do some work. We do the same routine. We do different things at the beginning and at the end, but in the middle, we do the same routine every week or a couple of times a week to strengthen the legs and really to get those arms really strong. So when you're ready, you can decide to have your hands together, your hands shoulder width apart, or you can have them be on shoulder width. And you can change midpoint. You'll have a chance to change midpoint. So how far you are away from your surface is how much weight you're going to be lifting. So you can decide how much, and you can change and adjust at any point. And then I'm going to count. The shoulder blades are down the back, and the head is right over your neck and shoulders. So you don't want to jut it out at all. And when you're ready, you begin with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, make sure you're breathing, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And then we stretch out, either the hips come back or you walk yourself forward and come down into a big squat. Taking a moment here. And then when you're ready, move all the way up. And then we do our next series, so you can change the positions of your hands if you'd like. And then you can also change how much weight you're lifting by moving closer or farther away Shoulder blades are down the back, hands right over the shoulders. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Oh. And then stretching down, dropping into your hips. We're stretching back, lengthening the arms. And then coming to standing. And shaking them out. Okay, we're going to do, we usually will reach under the bar and do pull-ups, but I don't have enough grip to be able to do this on here, so I'm going to put my hands over. It's not quite the same, but it works out okay. And how close you walk toward it, towards your surface, is how much weight you're dropping away. So if you find a place where you can do this, please join me. And we're going to do 30. No stopping on this one. So 1, 2, back and shoulder blades in the same position. 4, 5, 6, 7. Elbows are nice and close to the body. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Let's do another 10 for good measure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And those feel easy in comparison to the other set. Dropping the hips back, just stretching out the arms for a moment. And then coming to standing and taking a pause and shaking the arms out. And we're just going to do one more thing and then we're going to go to the mat. So when you're ready, so you can move. We're going to do an arch forward arching. So you can place your hands on the top of your sink, draw your shoulder blades together. And however far your feet are, so the farther, as you can see, when I'm farther out, I have less of an arch. So I'm going to move closer in. And then I'm going to let the heart and head lift. Draw the shoulder blades together. And taking a few moments here to just breathe. Feel the opening in the front of the body feels so good. And then when you're ready, drawing the hips back and tucking your chin, coming into a forward fold. You want to hold on because if you're right up against your surface, you could fall forward. So just holding here for a moment, opening the back in the opposite direction. And then as you feel ready, you can roll yourself up to standing. And taking a pause. And if you'd like to get a drink of water before we transition to the mat, by all means do so. I am going to grab hold of you and bring you with as we make our way to my space where I practice. So hopefully we can get a good shot here. Not great. I'm going to try to do this a little differently. So placing you at the door, and then I think you'll be able to see better. Yes, that's better. Okay. So we've been doing the triangle pose on the counter. Today we're going to do it on the mat. So when you're ready, you can turn sideways on your mat and have the legs at least a leg length apart, or longer if that feels better to you. I like to have a nice wide stance. It makes the posture easier for me to do. I'm going to take my left foot and turn it in just slightly, and the right foot's going to turn to face the outside of the end of my mat. And the right foot is midpoint to the back foot. So that cue for alignment is very important. It helps stabilize the body. And then the hips are going to turn and face the same direction as the back foot. The arms are going to come to the horizon, palms turned out, and then a nice long reach with the right hand. So remember, we were sliding over a countertop. So it's that nice long reach, pausing there. And then we're not trying to go too far, but we're going to bring the right hand to the inside of the left knee. We're not going to hold the knee because that puts a lot of pressure on it. The left arm comes up overhead. If you have shoulder issues, you can bring that hand around behind you. And we're just pressing out with the left hip. And then the head can look up at the hand above or down at the foot. Breathing and taking another moment or two to just hold here. Bringing the arms to the horizon. I invite you to bend into the front knee now and turn the palms down. And now we're in Warrior Two pose. So just pausing there for a moment. Breathing. Bringing the right forearm down onto the thigh, left arm overhead into a bent knee, side angle. Breathing here. Again, same thing. If the arm up above is uncomfortable, bring it down to your lower back or to your side. And then from here, pressing into the front foot, coming back to Warrior Two. Release the back hand down onto the leg. Turn the right palm up and lift it overhead. And looking up, you're now in Stargazer. So just pausing here for a moment. And then when you feel complete, bringing that hand down and turning the right foot forward and bringing the legs in underneath you and taking a pause for a moment. So you don't have to turn. You can just stay on your mat if you like the way you are, but I'm going to turn and bringing my feet again apart, leg length apart, turning the back foot in. So that's my right leg, which was forward before, and turning the left foot out, and then the hips turn the same direction as the back foot. And then the arms come to the horizon, and a nice long reach over the counter like we were doing when we were in the kitchen doing this. And then that left hand comes to the inside of the left knee as the right arm comes up overhead. And then here you can turn to look at the foot or up at the hand above. If that arm above does not work for you, bring it down to your side or to your low back. Make sure that you're breathing here. And then bringing the hands to the horizon and bending into the front knee. And now we're in Warrior Two again. Pausing here. And then bringing the forearm, left forearm to the left thigh, right arm comes alongside the head or to the low back. Taking another moment or two to breathe. And then bringing both arms back to knee stays bent. Both arms come back to the horizon. Back arm sits on the thigh. Front arm lifts, and we look up at the hand above into Stargazer. And then slowly coming back to center, straightening the front knee, turning the foot in, and bringing the legs in underneath you. So when you're ready and you'd like to join me, if you're still with me, I hope you are, bringing the legs in front and just taking a pause for a moment because we've done a lot. So we're going to do a balancing form, balancing pose, and this also invites core strength building. So you can bring your hands underneath your legs and maybe walk your toes back and maybe just bring the toes a little bit up off the floor. So you're balancing, the shoulders are down the back, the head is right over your shoulders, the belly is drawn in. And then from here, you might want to experiment. Maybe this is about as far as you want to go, but if you'd like, you can experiment with bringing the feet up parallel to the floor. And you can pause here. So you can draw the belly in. The belly's already working here. So you can do a lighter touch with the hands, or maybe you would like to bring the hands out and just use your belly. See if you can relax the thighs, just using the belly, drawing it in, taking another moment or two to just experiment. Feel free to hold onto the legs if that's helpful to you and works better for you. You're still getting the core strength happening here. Taking a final moment and then releasing down and shaking the legs out. I'm just going to check the time. Okay, gotta get a few more minutes. So shaking them out. And when you feel ready, you know what's next. Our plank pose. So we're going to do a minute of plank pose, 2 30-second intervals. So when you're ready, you can come down onto your forearms and maybe just lower yourself down. Let's come into the Sphinx pose for a minute. So just giving a little, we're pressing down into the palms of the hands and into the forearm and just getting a little arching lift here called the Sphinx. So now we're going to relax the upper body. The toes will turn underneath. You can also come from this, from the hips lifted, and extend one leg and then the other. Any way that you can get here. The whole hand palms and forearms are supporting the plank. The hips are in line with the rest of the body. And we're doing 30 seconds. We've already done 10. And you might notice, I think I have started to notice that this is becoming easier. Taking another moment or two to be at 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing down, pausing for a moment. Maybe you want to turn your head to one side and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Feel free to do that. And then when you feel ready to, you can make your way back to your forearms for the second half of this plank pose, core strengthening. So when you're ready, you can bring yourself up away from the floor, draw the belly in, use the whole surface of your hands and your arms to support. You might notice it's a little harder the second time around. Drawing the belly in. And we're at 10, we're at 20, I'm sorry. Holding and breathing. And now 10. And 5. And then releasing down. And turning the head and maybe flopping the knees. And then when you feel ready to, taking your time, you can roll onto your back. Letting yourself come down onto the floor, onto your mat, whatever you're practicing on. You can allow the arms to come out at shoulder height and bringing the right foot to the left knee. Let's just complete with a little bit of a twisting, knee down twist. You can turn the head the opposite direction of the knee. Breathing. That exhale again, that really offers you a chance to relax into whatever pose, position you find yourself in, both an internal posture as well as the external. When you feel complete on that side, releasing, bringing the left foot to the right knee and rolling onto the right side. Head can turn the opposite direction of the knee if that works for you. The hand can come to the outside of the knee to provide a little encouragement. And breathing. And then when you feel complete, releasing this side and taking a pause and noticing if your body is inclined to any other movement. And by all means, responding to any call that your body has to move some more. feeling free to do that. And if you do feel complete, then finding yourself uh, putting warmth on if you need to, um, and just finding yourself a comfortable position to relax in. So you can be on your back or your side or your belly, or you can be sitting. But I do encourage you to take the time to fully engage in relaxation pose. So when you're ready, finding that perfect resting position for yourself. And again, turning your attention to your breathing, taking some long, deep breaths and letting yourself give your body over to the surface below it so that there's no efforting on your part. Everything is deeply relaxed and at ease and can integrate all that's occurred during this last hour. And once you find yourself in a comfortable position, I encourage you to stay there as long as you like. As I begin to close class, please take the time to nurture and nourish yourself through Shavasana. Um, no place to go, nothing to do for these next few minutes. And as I take my leave, I send you my blessings and uh, well-being. I hope everybody is out there is taking good care of themselves and feeling healthy and well. And I hope to see you live and in person before too very long. But in the meantime, we can meet here together. And yes, I offer you deep blessings. Namaste.